Hey guys, welcome back. So this is going to be another kind of hobby vlog update, and you'll see something different than orcs that I've been working on. So I'm kind of like taking a break from them, and I'll go back to them at some point. But these guys are kind of going back into the world of those little fairies I was making, like these little silly guys with little bits of putty and just little bits of tea and gravel and that kind of thing. So these are some of my favorite ones, just to kind of give you an idea of what kind of world they're in. And they're very small and they kind of use different materials. So these guys kind of came from that, and I got inspired to kind of make them a bit bigger and see what I can do with them, and the freedom in kind of making the base body shape out of really anything. You could do tinfoil, you could do putty, and this is just wire arms for the legs and the arms themselves, and antlers on this guy. And it's just covered in the texture of this coconut fiber. You'll see in the back here, this coconut fiber stuff is class. I got this off Amazon, this big brick. It's going to last me for ages, I think. And you break it down and it's got all this different kind of texture and looks really natural once you get paint on it. And I've added in different bits and bobs, like real little twigs, different things like there's some polyfiller stuff for, filling in gaps in walls. I've just got this, but you can really use any kind of type, and different foliage here, scrubbers as well. And this is building on top of the wire armature, and you can make these kind of really great forest creatures and forest spirits. So that's kind of the idea, and they're so easy to make and quick, but I feel they have a really nice charm to them. And you can kind of, I've been messing around with sculpting different faces for them. This isn't picking up great because obviously it's not got paint on it yet, but it's just a bit of green stuff, just some simple eyes and some texture on the face. And I don't think I'm going to do any texture on the antlers themselves and just leave them, but this guy's just in a pretty chill pose and he's kind of pointing at someone, or he's kind of reaching out to someone. So you'll see this is the 28mm Reaper Barbarian. So he's pretty big, but he looks quite friendly. And they're really fun to paint up as well. Next up, this guy I think is one of my new favorite miniatures I've ever made. So he's kind of like this tree ant or ant kind of looking guy. He's strolling along. He's got these big arms. This is a wire armature with thinner wire over it again. I'm getting great use out of it. I got it last year in my hobby calendar that my wife put together, and it's great for like making really thin armatures. It's not the strongest, but once you put putty over it, it's grand, but it has this nice kind of wood texture here, and then I put a bit of the polyfiller stuff over it again, and some green stuff, and then putting the fibers, coconut fibers again, will kind of link it all together. And he's got this kind of, I don't know, like simple face, kind of a little bit Studio Ghibli looking, I think, but then also he kind of reminds me of those trolls and that I mentioned in older videos. And he's just kind of strolling along on this base with all this different texture and detail, different bits and bobs. There's some maybe gravel and foliage and everything, but it looks pretty realistic and overgrown, and loads of leaves and stuff on it when it's painted up. And these are some other little guys I'm planning on making. Just little seeds that I had found fallen, and I like them. They're like little hats or something, so I'm going to make these little cute guys underneath it. Just really, really simple sculpts with just little hands and feet, and then just little cute eyes, and maybe I can make them glowing out from underneath, and they'll be in this, something similar to this guy. They'll be in this long grass and just kind of like peeking around, I don't know, I just really enjoy making them at the moment. It's very different than orcs, obviously, but something different. Yeah, exactly. Just to mix it up. This is the different materials kind of used on it. So this is different types of teas. Like this is a green tea. It's just an apple green tea, and it actually looks like leaves in that at 28mm scale, as well as smells nice, so that's good. What else we got? Like that's ash from the fire. If you're looking for really, really small gradient stuff, it's kind of different sizes, so that can work as well. If you put loads of PVA on it, though, it kind of turns into a paste, but it can be used for different things. This is actually just tea. This is Lion's tea, so it's just a different kind of texture as well. And this is the foliage that I need to break down some more of, because I use a lot of it. It's annoying though, because I wish I had a little sieve, because then I could use the really, really small fibers and put them in a different container just for ease. You see then in the background, like that's just some sand. That's the coconut fiber brick, and this is just another green tea. Simple enough. Like this is super cheap. You get loads for it. This is what a lot of the body is actually made from, the actual frame. that these guys are built upon, like this guy and this guy's belly here, is just stuff. It's really weird. I don't really know how to explain it. I got it in this kit that you push your baby's hands and feet into, and it leaves an imprint, and then it kind of it gets hard, and you can put it into a frame, for when they grow up and you're like, Jesus, he's after getting big, that kind of way. It's the best way I can explain it. And there was some left over, so I robbed it, obviously. I started using it for different things. But that's it. Like, you can really use any material and just cover it over. And it saves you from having to sculpt, realistic armatures or muscle structure and all that. But speaking of muscle structure, this is something different that's been on my work in progress shelf for, Jesus, maybe years. And if you can guess what this is from looking at it, I'll be super impressed, because it's got 5 legs and 1 retractable leg. It's got a magnet on its tail. It's got claws as big as cups. It's meant to be the size of 4 cats. It's got 4 arses on its face, as you can see here. And it's got 2 sets of ears, and one of the sets is kind of just a backup set of ears. Now, if you got it from that explanation, well done. But this is meant to be my version of the Beast of Craggy Island, from Father Ted. So I think it's basically finished. I have to add on maybe a little bit of grass. Craggy Island isn't known for its it's known for its crags, So this is from the show Father Ted. So this is my version of it. It's got its retractable tail here for better jumping up at you. This has been going on for ages. Like, the base of it is this panther toy. That's a panther leg. Tiger toy. This is arms from Invisible sculpted over with this ridiculous muscular structure that doesn't really make any sense. I had structure going on its back, but then I said, look, I can just use this fur, this teddy bear fur that I've experimented with before, to kind of easily and quickly, instead of sculpting fur, just using the fur, you know what I mean? And I think it works pretty well. And it's got its magnet tail here, big claws on his base. And I gave him, his 4 arses are quite feline, I think. I think it kind of makes sense, and they do still look like arses or bums or butts or fannies, I think some people call them. And he's got a smile there with his teeth. He's quite menacing, and he's got his whiskers and his big fangs for eating all the sheep. Poor Chris, the sheep. But yeah, that's my Beast of Craggy Island. I don't know how I'm going to paint them up, but just another bit of fun as well. They're kind of projects this guy's been on the work in progress shelf for, like I said, years. Like, it's crazy. Just to finish up, this guy is another little cute fairy looking guy, but with a little bit more detail to him. He's going to be a hedgehog. So the idea here is that he's obviously a little pig man, but he's got a hedge going back down his back. So he's got a mohawk into his little curly tail he's going to have here. And I'm going to put loads of texture and stuff on it. So he's like a little hedge, but he's also a little pig man at the same time. And I'm going to give him little tiny tusks. And I don't know if he's going to be angry. Maybe he looks like a little wrestler or something. He's got kind of an attacking pose. So maybe I'll go with that. Give him little hooves. But that's the idea for him. I'll texture him up and paint him up like my little fairy guys. Like, that's just stuck on with blue tack just to show you the idea. But yeah, that's my little hedgehog guy. But anyway, yeah, that's it, guys. That's kind of what I've been working on. Sorry if I disappointed you. I'm kind of moving away from the orcs again. But look, like I said, I'll get back to them. You know how it is. You get inspiration and you just roll with it. But this is really what I'm, working on. This is what I'm feeling at the moment. This big, what's this, a pine cone or something? I don't even know. But I think this is awesome. Let me know what you think. And I'll come back with an update when I have something interesting for you. Cheers. Good luck.